So turn to somebody by you and thank them. Thank them. Thank you. Thank you. Some of them deserve another thanks. So let's do it again. And for some of them, that will be the only thanks they receive today. So give them one more. And for some, it will be the only thanks they get this week, and this month, and this year, and maybe for the rest of time. So think about the power of that. Have you heard that prayer? The only prayer we ever need to pray is, thank you. What if tomorrow, all you have tomorrow is what you said thank you for today?
Wow.
OMG. So begin to think about something you can say thank you for. Could you say thank you for today? Just speak it out loud. Something you're grateful for.
The sunshine.
Sunshine. Transportation. My spouse. Some of you, the spouse I don't have anymore. My children.
My brace is off.
The brace is off. Keep going. What can you be grateful for?
I'm thankful for you.
Thank you. Me too. And I'm grateful for you. And for all of you who come, we are the ones. It's not just a theory. If somebody else could do this, they would. So it's us. So then think about that beautiful song that started this off this morning. You are the hands of God. You are the hands of Spirit. You're the hands of the Holy Spirit. You're the hands of Creator. You're the hands of creation. You're the hands of life, the hands of universe, the hands of the divine. Your hands. My hands. Your heart is the heart of God. God's heart. What are the implications here? So we're waiting on God to do it. That is believing that God is the Santa Claus. You know, a big bearded guy on a throne somewhere. Let's wait for that to intervene. So a misunderstanding of what God is. Creator, creation. So that inside me, created me in perfect love and perfect understanding. I am a perfect idea of that. I am one with that power, one with that presence, one with that creation. I am of that. Nothing can change that. Nothing can stop that. So I am being breathed by something. Whatever you call it. Being breathed. So then being expressed. Being moved, being impulsed, being guided. Can you relate to a term like holy discontent? That you have a holy discontent. You have a divine discontent. Because we innately know this, that we are one with this power, one with this presence, and we are then absolutely clear, intuitively, intelligently, emotionally, spiritually, that we are more than what we have realized. We're more than what we have yet realized. So, what is your divine discontent? That impulse, something that would cause you to do something radical. You're already receiving guidance of some sort. Each and every one of us is receiving some kind of guidance to grow up, to express, to expand. What is that guidance that you're receiving? What guidance have you received that you may not be acting on? You get a sense of acting on it. Getting sense on just, even if it's very, very scary, to just put a toe in it, to put a hand out, to reach across the aisle, to look in an eye, to do something, even if you're doing that much. If 99% of your life is in service, bow to you. You may ascend this afternoon and we want to film it. So if 99% of your life is in service, thank you. The 1% then, the 1%, the 5%. One more place, one more way I can be in service. One more way I can express, these are the hands of the divine. These are the eyes of the divine. These are the voice of the divine. These gifts that I've been given are of the divine. And you don't have the gifts I've got. I don't have the gifts that you got. We all have what we are to live from. We have the gifts that we've been assigned to. And if we live our life wanting the gifts that somebody else got, what's that like? Compare equals despair. This pining away over what they've got and what they can do and what she can do and he can do, and where does it leave you? And where does it leave you in the only life you have to live? And then what happens to the gifts that you've been given? When they're denied, disregarded, dismissed, overlooked. What happens to them? What happens to your spirit when you don't give room for those gifts? Answer it out loud. What happens to your spirit, your vitality? It's constricted and tight, low. Depressed, thank you. Depressed, despaired, confined.
Resentful.
Thank you, yes. Resentment, grudges. Now, some of you are ahead of me. We'll call this true confessions of the high spiritual type. So this is what we become, this out of this unawareness that the gifts I have are the gifts I have, and they are meant to be given, to be expressed, to be developed, to be explored, to be expanded, and that they will do so through a divine impulse. So then the seed of an oak tree is in an acorn. buckets of tomatoes are in a seed of a tomato. The law, nature. So that kind of fruit, that kind of possibility in me as I step in to serve. As I say, I'm not going to let that squelch that. I'm not going to leave that seed unattended. That seed unnurtured, uncared for anymore. So let's think about then what it's like at the end of your day when you've done something you really felt right about, felt good about, like you may not have even told anybody. You know what I mean? Like these acts of kindness that you did out of your own fullness, out of you did because you couldn't stop yourself. Then we can look back on our day and what's it like? What's it like to look back on our day when we went out in service, when we did something a little extra, one more thing, one more gesture, one more situation, one more gift, one more call, one more zipping it. One more. What's it like? What's it like? Fulfilling. Keep going. Calming.
Energizing.
It's energizing.
Life affirming.
It's life affirming. It's vitalizing. It's joyful, renewing.
Self-loving.
It's rewarding and loving. It's like, oh, it's tail wagging. Oh, yes. And then, so who holds the key to this?
We do.
Who holds the key?
We do.
I do.
Yes. Turn to somebody and tell them, hey, I've got the key. Hey, I've got the key. I've got the key to my own tail wagging. I've got the key to my own tail wagging. So if my tail isn't wagging,
It's my fault.
who's got the medicine?
Me.
Yes. Who can take their own medicine? What's that like? Not for me. You take the medicine. And even in unity, some of the ministries and communities sing, let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with her. And as soon as he apologizes, I will be at peace. Loco. So incongruent, incoherent. So they get a sense of this then. So if it's me, and if this frustration and anxiety and that is caused from this inability to express, to this inability to serve as the hands of God, the eyes of God, the voice of God, the voices of God, the heart of God, the love of God, the peace of God, the order of God, the zeal, the will, the understanding, the imagination, the letting go, the discernment, the powers of God that are not theory, not out there, but innate in me, in place in me, here and now, and in every situation, and in all situations, here and now. And then we got this. Can you relate? What have you done for me lately? After all I've done for you, after all I've done for God, what about me? Me. Can somebody see me? Can somebody thank me? invite me, respect me, understand me. So what's causing that stress?
Me.
Yes! The notion of me. Me. It started at 2. And the 2-year-old is still running the show. Until it doesn't. Until I say, let me get that me out of there. And then me. The hell of me. Then the hell of my job. My profession. My car. My purse. My designer glasses. And what happens there when you believe it's yours? My spouse. My children. What happens? What happens to you when you believe they're yours? And then the winds blow in. This isn't there anymore, and that changed, and they don't respect me, and that was lost, and somebody took that, and that's scraped, and that's cracked, and that's broken, and frustration. They don't call. Apparently you were spared. Those of us that are getting the call. Some of you can relate, I see. Those of you that can't, it's not your turn yet. We'll all take turns at this. So get a sense of what it would be, how you would be in the world. How you would be in the world if you understood maybe that what I have tomorrow will be what I say thank you for today. What I see tomorrow will be something that I sowed today, that I will reap as I sow. So whatever I'm going to harvest will be a result of something I have put in the ground, something I have nurtured, something I've thought about, something I've cared for. What's something you would quit? Something you would stop doing if you understood this?
Taking things for granted.
Taking things for granted. What else would you quit? Complaining. Good, thank you. Keep going. I would be less uptight. I would quit trying to protect what cannot be threatened. Keep going. What else would you quit?
Expecting others to
I would
be
quit
good.
withholding forgiveness. I would quit expecting other people to do what I won't do.
Being petty.
I quit being petty. Like nitpicking. Fault finding. Like this much is going well, and what will we talk about? Because this is the operating system of the mind. This is what we're dealing with. It's not unique to you. It's not unique to a situation. Like the operating system of the mind is to find what is wrong. So this much could be going well. This much didn't go well according to you. And that's what we're focused on. So then somebody could have been kind to us most of our lives with them, most of our time with them, and they were unkind once. What do we speak about? Then we go and draw in all the evidence, right? Which is what I mean when you hear me say, in the beginning there was the conclusion. And then the mind goes out of balance, the mind goes wacky, because then I'm blind to that there's kindness and unkindness. There's respect and disrespect. An open mind, a balanced mind. There's people that will understand and people who can't, won't, don't understand. So if you're addicted to understanding, where will it leave you when they don't understand?
Crazy.
Mad, frustrated, blaming, nitpicking, petty, fault-finding, the very things we just said that we could quit. We could quit. So I have a little cheat sheet. If you quit being these things, quickly offended. So to get a sense of your luminosity dial, you come over to the ministry this morning, you come over to this community, you come over to like be in this vibration of this, and our luminosity dials go way up, right? They get dialed up. Woo! 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 Oh, if I was any better, I'd be twins. Woo! Then if we don't catch it before we leave, the food won't be to suit you. Somebody will jump in front. Somebody won't recycle. Somebody will. So we'll get all the pop quizzes in the world this morning to see what if I am the keeper of my luminosity dial. And that then as it gets quickly offended, what's my first step? If I don't want to live offensively,
Let it go.
to back it up.
Forgive it.
Forgive it. Integrate it. Make some room for it. So they gave me the look. It's like, I can relate. Nothing new under the sun. So either live quickly offended. What would the opposite be?
Going with the flow.
Going with the flow.
Not take it personally.
Not take it personally. That's not just a theory or a good book somebody wrote. Oh, I can quote before agreements. It's like, well, use one. Your face hasn't caught up to how much agreement you have. Quickly offended, easily provoked, sensitive, and slow to recover. Yes. All together? Oh, yeah. In my secret private time. Then I get on the phone and commiserate with somebody. Let there be peace. Underhanded. Covert, secretive, gossipy. Don't you say I said it. Demanding, willful, stubborn. My daddy used to say, this is Martha, her middle name is Stubborn. So where is your stubborn running your show? Blaming. If you don't stop one thing after today but that, you will transform your life, your love, your creations, your vitality, your manifestations, your demonstrations, your businesses, your marriages, your relationships, your families. That includes stopping blaming yourself. One thing. Criticizing, fault-finding, petty grievances, uptight, serious, get serious. It's overrated. Competitive. For or against, black or white, all or nothing. What's it doing to your spirit to even hear these things? Did you sense it even in the room? It's like, like a vacuum. But this is like chronic, day by day, situation by situation, unless we quit some of this. While this is leading, this will be the way of it. So how much stewardship, how much being the hands of God, the voice of God, the eyes of God, the way of God can I be if this is running my show? Not much. Here lies Martha. She had criticisms. Here lies Martha. She did a lot of complaining. Or here lies Martha. She had contributions. Here lies Martha. She quit most of that. Here lies Martha. She had dramas. Here lies Martha. She had determination. She had dreams. She had issues or ideas. What would yours say? What do you want yours to say? See if this would be a little better tomb reading. What if you were self-managing? That regardless of what they do, regardless of what that knucklehead does, you were self-regulated. You were self-referenced. You get a sense of it? Stewardship. Steward. A wise and trusty one with the spirit of the divine. With the hands, the heart, the mind, the voice of the divine. What if you were responsive instead of reactive? Response able. Resilient. Uncommonly resilient. Uncommonly motivated to see something through. Think about every leader in history. Think they had some uncommon motivation? What if we just breathed in just a breath or two of that kind of uncommon motivation today to serve? If we broadened our framework, we broadened our perspective, we broadened my understanding, if I broadened my acceptance, my allowance, for my sake, for the sake of my spirit, for the sake of the gifts that I want to bring forth. So get a sense then if you were more purposeful. So whatever I do, I'm going to do with great purpose. I'm going to do with thought, with intention. I'm going to find another way, a new way, an incredibly new way to be this in the world and to live from this in the world. So as we take a pause now here to integrate this new idea, a new way of being, as we commit to shedding an old way of being, of quitting what is painful, archaic, outdated, and step into a new way of being, a more alive way of being, a more vital, integral way of being. Begin to imagine this for yourself, that today you have shed that old skin, You have stepped out of a portal and into a new portal, onto a new platform. And join me in this time of meditation to allow this to grow in us, to unfold,